All right, back with you, San Diego sports leader. It is the Mighty 1090. It is always our pleasure to say hello to it's been a while since we've said this, the AHC and the HCIW. That is Brian Dutcher. He's the associate head coach, the head coach in waiting at San Diego State. The Aztecs are getting set to take on Point Loma Nazarene this Friday. It's an exhibition game. And then for real, starting on the 14th. For reals, as the kids like to say. It's always a pleasure to say hello to Brian Dutcher here on the Mighty 1090. Hello, Dutch.
Hey, Darren, how are you?
I'm doing well. How was your off season?
It was great, filled with basketball and recruiting and getting ready for this season. And it's here. It's exciting. I know the fans are excited, and hopefully the listeners are, and we're ready for another Aztec basketball season.
Another season. How many is this for you?
Year
Coaching.
16.
You're 16 at San Diego State with you and Coach Fisher. How many years total?
25.
25. This is the majority of your life.
I keep telling him I'm his second longest relationship next to his marriage. So, and I think if when he retires, his marriage will obviously carry on, but his relationship here will too. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, though.
How did you guys hook up anyway? How did you and Coach Fisher? I don't know that I even know this story.
Well, my dad at one time was an assistant at the University of Michigan, and another assistant under him was Bill Frieder. So Bill Frieder, when he had an open at Michigan, when he was the head coach there, hired me at Michigan. The other assistant on his staff, Steve Fisher. That was 88-89, the year that Bill left at the end of the year. Steve took over, and we won a national championship. So we got off to a great start, and it just keeps rolling along.
So coaching was kind of in the blood for you?
Absolutely. My dad was a college coach at the Eastern Michigan University, assistant at the University of Michigan, and head coach at the University of Minnesota. So I was kind of raised around it, Darren. So it's been my passion, and I feel real fortunate to be able to make a career out of it.
So how old were you when you decided that you wanted to get into coaching?
Young, probably middle school, high school.
Come on, really? I mean, at that age, usually everybody has some sort of dream about becoming the actual player themselves.
Well, I might have had that dream for a while, but when they were all bigger than me on the floor, that kind of died away. So I don't think I hit my growth spurt until my senior year of college. So, but I love the game, and it's always been a passion, and get to grow up around it was outstanding.
Well, we're talking to Brian Dutcher here. He's the AHC and the HCIW. San Diego State getting set to take on Point Loma Nazarene coming up this Friday night. We will talk about that game here briefly in a moment. 16 years, again, just because this is the first one that we're doing this season here, is it hard to believe that this has been 16 years here at San Diego State? I'll tell you, it jumps off the page when you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen in coaching.
No.
Guys don't survive 16 years in coaching at one place. They might over a career, but usually it's a lot more of a military existence in coaching. At some point, guys are taking their next job, whether it's a promotion or not making it work where they're at. But, I think Steve Fisher and the job he's done here is just amazing. And I think anybody that's been to games knows that. The nice thing about being here, I talk to the people that have been at Peterson Gym and the sports arena, and they've been through a lot of the memories, and I think some of their fondest were the last 16 here in Viejas, and we feel really special to be a part of that.
Do you have a sense, you're excited clearly, I mean, people can tell just through the first couple of minutes here, that you're excited about Friday night, like let's get it going, let's get the balls out there on the court and see what we look like here. Do you get a sense, Dutch, as exciting as this has been for the last handful of years here in San Diego, do you have a sense of how excited and how much anticipation there is for this season?
Yeah, I think Monday when I got to work and I looked out my office window and saw the line of students waiting for their tickets already. It went all the way, past the rec center, and this is for the exhibition game and Northridge game, and those tickets are gone. Those students are excited, and so you sit there, you watch their enthusiasm, their willingness to line up, wait on cue to get a ticket to come watch their Aztecs, and it gets exciting. And knowing that, an exhibition game is going to be a sold-out feature here is, who wouldn't get excited? It's that time of the year. I know we're going to have a really good team. I don't know if we're going to be a great team. That will play itself out on the floor, but I know we're going to be very good.
Well, we're really excited here. We're talking to Brian Dutcher at San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090, because we're really excited that you're going to tell us who the starting five is. So, Dutch, we'll let you take that away here, and you can tell everybody who's going to be the starting five for the Aztecs this year.
I better run in and ask Coach Fisher.
Do you know?
I think we have a pretty good idea. I think it, in all likelihood, unless something changes in practice today, I think we'll see Skylar Spencer, At the center position, we'll see J.J. O'Brien playing the power forward. We'll see Winston Shepard and Dwayne Poley on the wings, and I think we're going to give Trey Kell a shot at opening up at our point position. And like I said, that could change overnight. Mm-hmm. And depending, that's a nice thing about the team we have. We're deep, and the competition is intense. So if you take a day off, your spot may be gone. So I would say after the Stanford scrimmage, that's who we went with. And I think unless something changes in the next day, that will be the lineup that will probably start on the floor for the Aztecs against Point Loma.
Wow, Dutch, I was kind of just fishing on that one, but thank you for putting some names out there. And again, like you said, it's subject to change here and probably written in pencil at this point. The thing I noticed about that lineup, the 5 guys that you just mentioned there, is that 4 of them are regulars. 4 of them are incumbents, if you will. How tough is it, to earn your stripes here with this team, given how deep you are and how much talent there is around?
It's tough. I mean, and that's the greatest thing about it. I mean, you've got Angelo Chol, who's pushing everybody around, and you've got Kevin Szabo and Akil Quinn, who are battling for minutes at that point guard spot and could overtake Trey at any minute. And you got Dakari Allen and De'Arl Williams and Matt Shrigley, who are nipping at everyone's heels. And so the thing is, that's a coach's delight, but it's a player's dilemma. You're fighting for your minutes, and everybody deserves them, but not everybody will get them.
Do you guys go into this season, given the roster that you have, and clearly you have a couple of really, really talented players who are battling and dealing with injuries and are unable to play, and that's going to present a completely different dynamic here in a couple months when those guys are available. But are you guys inclined to say, we're starting our best 5? Like, do you feel like you're going out there and your starters are your best 5 players?
You know what? That's an interesting question, and I would say our starters at times aren't our best 5 players, but that's what makes the Aztecs so good, is that what we bring off the bench sometimes can provide that spark for us. So sometimes it's maybe not your most talented 5, but it's your chemistry of your first 5, and you need a punch off the bench, so maybe you leave a guy on the bench that is starter quality but just provides more coming as the substitute to keep the momentum going. So sometimes your best 5 aren't your starting 5, and that's what makes coaching such a challenge.
When you have players coming in to this program here, how long does it take a player who was in high school, a player who was a big star, he was the guy, he was the man, he was the big guy on campus here, he was taking all the shots. What's that adjustment like when a player has to get used to playing a role now, and all of a sudden, you know what? Like, you're got to start over again a little bit here. And is that something, how do you deal with that when you have an incoming hotshot freshman?
I think it's tough. It's tough on the coaches more than the players, because we sit there and on any possession we watch on tape, we can point out mistake after mistake these young kids make. And it's usually not with the basketball or shooting or anything to do with that. It's usually you're not in a help defensive position. You could have done this better. You should have looked for this to move the ball one more time. And it's just the little stuff that, that takes coaching. It takes mistakes being made in order to correct. And so the freshmen are obviously further behind than the veterans, because the veterans have been through here 1, 2, 3 years, and they know what's expected. They've been through the pounding of a college season. And the young kids are learning on the fly. And as much as we teach them every day in practice, experience is no better teacher. And so as they start getting game minutes, we start pointing out pluses and minuses to them. Hopefully they'll make that improvement that will make us a really good team down the stretch this year.
Yeah, because I would say, as much as you guys talk about how much, maybe you've never coached this much talent at San Diego State. Maybe you've never had it all like this. Have these players ever been on a team like this? I mean, have most of your players have probably never been on a team this good, this talented?
That's a very interesting point, Darren, because, some have had great success in high school, but obviously it's stepping a level higher. We've had kids win state championships, but not at this level of competition. And so when they step out on the floor, they're going against a good player every day. We don't have like 6 really good players and a bunch of role players. We have 13 really good players. And so when they step out there, they're getting work to no end on that practice floor. So